Okay, let's do this. So here I am again after months? However many have been. Well, that looks like long enough. Last time, I was on a journey to complete all Dragon Ball Z games before Sparkling Zero comes out. That failed. I have a lot of real life reasons to justify that, but I haven't yet gotten to that point of insanity where I justify myself on the internet. I will say though, I did play Sparkling Zero for about 30 hours. The game is amazing, one of the best fighting games I played in a while, and I might come back to it at some point. I did get put off by the game faster than the internet seemed to, because I didn't feel like grinding online matches. And in the absence of that incentive, after finishing all the story and getting the coolest Sparkling episodes, I didn't have many things left to do. I did play some online, but I have too much work in my day-to-day life to grind Elo in any game at the moment. I learned a long time ago that grinding Elo in games is a full-time job. Maybe someday I will go back to that, but those days are not yet upon us. And that's all I will say about Dragon Ball for now. If, when the first DLC releases, you see Dragon Ball again in my titles, you know what I did. But there is something I want to talk to you about. Something that stole my attention from Sparkling Zero. So yes, in a way I will actually justify myself on the internet. Are you happy? But this game that I wish to talk about today did more than steal my wish to play Sparkling. This game is something that prevents me from starting Red Dead Redemption 1, another game I have waited to come to PC since my childhood. A new Dragon Quest game has appeared and I love those, but I didn't even buy it as of right now. And I found out that Metaphor is a thing from an Instagram story about the Game Awards from all things, which made me realize I haven't kept up with any form of news in months. And yet, when I say all of these, I don't foresee them changing anytime soon, because here I stand in a dim lit room, building decks and drafting at 2 in the morning, praying to one purple dragon that dictates my every move. Travelers, the hole I fell in is deep, and at this level of the tower, there is little in the hopes of a way out. Let me tell you what happened. Our story begins with me and my brother, chilling in our realm outside of time, having a good time. We were probably talking about science or something, activities I would now describe as blue man activities, but I will not do that because I do not want to admit I fell that low. Meet Rigby. Rigby is from the King of Goblins, but somehow lives in the realm of humans and takes residence under a local bridge. From time to time, also sleeps in a college dorm. One day, this creature decides to come to our peaceful realm, wearing an ominous cloak. Dressed as such, he makes one innocent proposal.
Ever heard of magic? It's pretty cool. You should give it a try.
At this point, it needs to be mentioned the goblin decided not to divulge to us how long his history with this game is. We will later find out to be 5 long years of him carrying that brown cloak and praying to the purple dragon of Tolarian. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. What we agreed to then is to go to the local goblin tavern and buy from their immense treasury 2 packs of magic cards for each. Just 30 cards to get us started in the travels through the blind eternities. The newest magic set when the proposal was made, and the only one the tavern had, was Duskmourn, House of Horror. Well, they also had Murders at Karlov Manor, but for some reason people don't seem to like that one. I'm yet to figure out why, but for now I'm focusing on Foundations. But what even are the words coming out of my mouth? What is a set? Well, as I was about to learn, Magic the Gathering is a constantly evolving game. Every, 2 or 3 months it seems, even though the veterans swear it isn't meant to be so. But every 2 to 3 months, new cards are released as part of a set, with a common theme. Most sets have about 300 cards in them, and the way these themes work is one of the aspects that let me fall so deeply. In the world of Magic, the two players represent two powerful wizards, called Planeswalkers, having a magical duel. Planeswalkers are special wizards with the ability of traveling between dimensions to different realms of the multiverse that are called planes, hence the name Planeswalker. And with each new set, we are welcomed to a new plane where we can meet the locals, learn their magic, and capture it in these little pieces of cardboard we call cards. So the cards, or the spells, are literally the friends we made along the way. Duskmourn, Bloomburrow, Ravnica, Tarkir. All planes to be explored, all worlds to be uncovered, all magic to be learned. And the planes to see are numerous as they are, with many more on the horizon. But, as beautiful as the lore is, and as vast the content, it is not when I learned all of these fascinating details that I started to fall into this world. For that, we must go back to the story. After leaving the tavern and coming back home, we wrapped the packs. Lost are the memories of the first cards I opened. I bought many more since. But I remember how it felt. I will not explain to you the game rules in detail. What is important is how it feels to play. Or at least how it felt to me. To slowly be taught by my friendly goblin what the rules are. How to cast a spell. How to tap a card. It felt like a warm passage back into childhood. I did not play Magic back then, but the atmosphere catches the nostalgia of a time I did not live. A time of simple concerns. A time of joy and wonder. We did not have lands when we played, so we made 40 card decks using regular playing cards as lands. The shuffling was awkward, and if you are a veteran, you probably scream at your monitor now. But I know that will be a memory I will always cherish. Now we have lands. We bought them from Poland later, but I still remember with love that memory. And at that moment, as I was fighting with Rigby the Goblin, with the childhood spirit flowing through me, I fell. The internet. The mighty, the beautiful, the sublime. The pathway that lets you see this video now. I have searched the word magic so much in the type bars of the internet. And I need to tell you, while magic is a hobby, learning magic is much more than that. And the reason is, to put it simply, so much jargon. There are so many magic specific terms. We have words for all different ways to play magic, aka formats. Want to play with freshly opened packs? Call that limited. With your own deck? That is constructed. 60 cards from just a certain pool of new cards? Standard. Want to expand? Call that pioneer or modern. Want to go even deeper in the card pool? Legacy, vintage. Want to play for fun with 100 cards? Commander. Don't worry, we are not done. We have names for all types of decks. You play aggressive, that means you play aggro. You play more defensive, you play control. Have a few cards that win you the game? Combo. For game mechanics, we have tens if not hundreds of different keywords, from flying, trample, to haste, to some obscure shit I still have to Google if I play Magic Online. There is also the mighty term mulligan, which you'd better learn because it is everywhere and is so stupid how complicated it sounds. Also, do you wanna see how many sets there are? Well, don't forget we deal here with a game that is 31 years old. Here we go! What I mean to say is that it is a lot. And part of the beauty is that you don't need to know everything. The beauty of magic is that it's not only so dense that you can spend your entire life playing and still be surprised by something, but also that this infinity is the promise of the game. The game is about the infinite expanse of the multiverse, and you are just a traveler looking for a good time. Maybe for a place to have a few adventures, to learn, and to grow memories. You don't need to complete magic. Just to exist in it is enough. And the feeling of wonder and just being lost is one that, with this game, I think is part of the fun. But I think you can see something here. An undertone. Something unsaid, but visible. The fact that I spent an ungodly amount of time just learning all of this shit, so that I can make this video now. And this is part of the fall, because with every minute spent to research, you become more invested. You care more, and you want to know more. A snowball effect that eventually engulfs your entire life. And there isn't anyone more responsible for this process than the purple dragon himself, the professor. Sitting at the top of the MTG YouTube scene, over 1 million subscribers in his ranks, the purple dragon is the one place for all your needs. The professor will teach you everything, what every format is and how to play it, every type of deck and how to build it, all the drama and how to wield it. Hell, he might even teach you English along the way, all while keeping you constantly entertained. I envy the professor for his skills. But stay away, traveler, for all comes with a price. Every piece of knowledge generously given to you takes something away. For with every piece of knowledge, you fall deeper and deeper, to the point where there is no sun, only the light of the screen. Where there is no rest, only the sound of spells casted by the professor and his guests on his magic playing show. To the point where there is no thought in your mind that you would not have to associate with a color in the mana pie. And now that you are already here, there is only deeper to go. So far, every chapter of this story has presented the way this game makes one, well, hooked. Chapter 1 was about the bliss of playing. Chapter 2 was about the trap of learning so many things about a subject. But, for something to catch you in a way that is completely unescapable, it needs one final piece: community. And here, in case anyone from my MTG community sees this video by chance, I just want to say that you are one of the nicest people I have ever met. There is a guy who literally gave me 200 basic lands for free because I am, in his words, young blood. And all my stories that follow will prove that. Also, sorry to anyone who I annoy at drafts for moving slow. I am trying my best, but playing paper is stressful. But this friendly community is also the root of the addiction. It's like the words of an old Instagram reel that pops in my feed once in a while, about a man who decides to go to a bar instead of church and his other responsibilities, because the people there are nice to him, when there are just so many chill dudes in a basement, just having a good time. It is intoxicating. You want to go back. And you will. With all that being said, let's go back to the story. At the same time I was descending into darkness, through my magic searches online, me and my playgroup were just enjoying the game in what is called kitchen magic, aka playing at home with no deck optimizations and no restrictions. Until one day we asked at the Goblin Tavern if there is anyone in the tavern playing magic, and that is how we found out about him. At the top of the tavern's magic ecosystem, there sits someone who rules it all. We will call him Mr. C, and I am grateful to Mr. C now for all the comments he gave us and for all the stupid questions he answered without making me feel judged or stupid. But back then, all I knew about him is that he was our ticket to fully get immersed into the Magic experience. Without much hesitance, we joined the Discord, added Mr. C, and fell even deeper. Not long after, we found our event on the limited page of the server on one simple Wednesday night, a register button to a draft event. We did not go there prepared to draft. Well, Rigby the Goblin was pretty seasoned with his Duskmourn meta from Arena, but for me and my brother, we are two little sprouts in the wings of Supreme Overlords. But, in the coolest twist of fate, and I swear this is not scripted, both me and my brother opened the most overpowered card for draft in the entire set, Valgavoth's Onslaught. And this card, let me tell you, is something else. I want to actually explain to you what this card is. What kind of nuke we were packing in our decks. Each turn of Magic, you can add one more mana to your power bank. And each card requires a certain amount of mana to play. Valgavoth's Onslaught can be cast for different mana values represented by this X, starting from 3, going to 5 to 7, with the most optimal cast in my opinion being 7. Normally, what 7 mana can get you is one powerful creature, like this thing. Problem is, while this creature seems impressive, most of them are just one removal spell away from being killed and you losing the trade on both a powerful card and on mana on that turn. But with Valgavoth, for that same 7 mana, you get not one creature, not 2, but 3 creatures with 5/5, and each of them can be upgraded further with a mechanic called Manifest Dread that is too complicated for this video. What is important to understand is that, left unanswered, this card kills an opponent in 2 turns, and because it creates multiple creatures, answering it at a stage of the game when your opponent probably spent a lot of their resources is damn near impossible. With this card, we actually had a bit of success. I actually won my first game ever in a draft, if you can believe it. I hardly can even now. I remember so well, first game I won because of Valgavoth. Second, I lost because I still had no idea how to play. And then the third game, I used 2 copies of a card named Fear of Burning Alive, which deals 4 damage to my opponent when it enters, with the last bringing his life total exactly from 4 to 0, 1 or 2 rounds before he was about to finish me off. The glory was upon me. Even though, to be honest, I casted Valgavoth wrong initially, and he literally taught me how to beat him. As I said, the people in this community, just great. But the glory was upon me only until game 2, where a guy with too much experience for my luck beat me to a pulp. I won 1 game because of Valgavoth, but I did not draw it again on games 2 and 3, and without it, his experience just proved superior. And in game 3, guess what? I was paired with the man, the myth, the legend, or rather the goblin, himself. One final battle with Rigby to decide who from our playgroup walks away with glory and the biggest number of packs. By the way, in draft, you get like 1 booster pack per win as a prize. I realized when recording the script that I did not mention that before. Aware of our difference in skill, or better put, of my total skill issue, I tried to plead with the goblin. Maybe we can just for fun this game and share the pack. But he had none of it, and so it was the best to win. Red-green deck versus red-white. And well, I will stop stretching it, I lost. And that was 2 months ago, and I am still salty, because in game 3, the final match, I had 2 creatures on the board, a 4/4 Fear of Burning Alive, with its ability to do extra damage unlocked, and another 5/3 creature. And in the last round before killing the damn goblin, with nothing on his board, the little shit steals one of my own creatures with the card he just drew and then kills me with it. Man, am I salty. But the game is the game at the end of the day. There is one more thing to say about this night. When we were building our decks, Mr. C, in his infinite generosity, comes to our playgroup, and I shit you not, just takes a entire box of Duskmourn commons and uncommons and gives it to us. I still have it. We play draft from it sometimes, some weird variant of Pauper Cube, and it is really fun. Once again, thank you, Mr. C. But the feeling I left with, that I think is embodied best by this gesture of Mr. C, is that I felt welcomed. These people, who could have been total assholes and throw their superior knowledge at us, behaved in a way I rarely see. Polite and kind, letting us read the cards twice or 3 times even, when we did not understand, telling us the rules and explaining the keywords we did not know. And the box of cards was just a cherry on top. After such an event, you cannot deny it. That is a place you want to belong in, where you will return to, where you feel good, comfortable. The feeling when playing, the investment, and the community of good people, all ingredients for you to fall deeper and deeper. The light of the normal world fades. This is your home now. This is where you will be. Forever. You have reached your destination. All this video has been about my journey as an MTG player. But this chapter, dear traveler, is not about me. As I am about to wrap this script up, I am working on something else. Do you remember those 200 lands I received for free? I did not ask for them for my own needs. I already got my order from Poland for my personal use of lands. But I am working on something. On decks. You see, I am at the bottom now. I can leave anytime and go back to my friends on the surface. Just like Rigby the Goblin would. And, just like him, I will bring a token from below with me. These decks are for friends who are yet to experience the fall I just told you about. Friends who I want to show just a glimpse of what lies here. But worry not about them, dear traveler, because you have yourself to worry about. Why have you watched this video? The title says it. This video is for people who never played. So, if you are one of them, maybe you are tempted? Just maybe, a small part of yourself wants to fall. To see how it is at the bottom. Being here, I can tell you it's fun. So, dear traveler, do you mind if I make an innocent proposal? See you next time. May the winds guide your way to the greenest pastures.